Hello again, Lockpicking Paul here, and this is my entry into Lock Junkie's 100 subscriber giveaway. And so first of all, Lock Junkie, fantastic giveaway. What a great idea. And congratulations on the 100. That's really awesome. I really think this is a nice idea, going through someone's progression. And in a minute, this table's going to get pretty crowded. So it's nice to be able to actually look back and see the direction you've gone in, because I have not gone in a straight line. I seem to have gone all over. So without further ado, we'll get into this. My first lock was actually a wafer lock, so it wasn't this, but that's on my filing cabinet, and that's in the next room, and I'm not dragging that thing under the camera. But that was the first thing I single wafer picked, or single pin picked. These two were locks I just had since before I was a lock sporter. This is a Yale 6-pin. It's got loads of security pins in it. And I took a look through the keyway, and it says got like serrated key pins, but actually it's not a hard lock at all. So that was the first real pin tumbler lock I picked. Then I had this old Yale, it's a 5-pin rim lock. Man, that thing was just got hung up on this forever. But after a while, once I learned to sort of understand what pin binding was, I finally got it open. So yeah, I spent quite a lot of time stuck on that. Then I went through a whole Euro phase, these things, and I'm not going to show you. I've got literally thousands of these, but where did I end up with Euros? On the tougher German ones like BKSs, got a whole bunch of them over here of tricky ones, EVVAs, DPIs, CESs, Winkhouses, Yale 500s, GGs, that's a GG, ugh, GGs, awful things. Anyway, we're pretty much the sort of the upper end of a run-of-the-mill Euro locks, and I spent a full solid year just picking my way through lots of different things while I watched telly. And even now, things like Winkhouses and GGs give me absolute migraines to pick. I just hate GGs. All through that, I started getting into dimple locks. So this is your classic Garrison, and I was a slight guilty admission, I still haven't explored things like pin-in-pin multi-locks. I did things like what are the other pin-in-pins? I forget what they're called. They're the 3-star pin-in-pin magnet interactive dimple locks. They're no trouble at all, but it's the multi-lock classics. I haven't really I need to go back there and do those. I sort of skip that step. Then I had a dalliance with lots of tubular locks, and more recently tubular locks with tapered pins, which are just frankly hard work, just repetitive hard work. But I like a bit of variety, so I do tend to sort of skit about a bit and try different types of locks. Tend to focus on anything that's a little bit odd. I love that. Tequila Dave sent me a whole bunch of really weird, difficult to tension locks, which have been a real joy to sort of try different things. I do have the attention span of a gnat. Then I got into sort of locks which are common in other countries. So this is Schlag large format interchangeable core. Spent a bit of time messing around with those. Those were quite a different experience because they used sort of quite strong steel springs, but they're quite good fun. Then onto sort of the more difficult Euros. So this is an ASA flex core, so counter milling and ASA barrel spools. They're not as hard as you think they're going to be. They're one of those locks that looks intimidating, but when you get into it, they're not that bad. And in the middle of all of that, my sort of real target lock was this baby. That's a Medico M3. It's a lovely, lovely lock. This really is the business. But it does have a little mechanism inside it, like a slider, which acts like permission to pick the lock. You know you've set one element of the lock once the slider goes into place. It's a really lovely lock to pick that. I must get that on camera. Moving on from there, this is it says it's an ASA twin. It's not. This has got a passive sidebar, much harder than the Medico, I think. But look at that bitting. That is murder. So ignore the sidebar bitting because that's not active. But it's still got counter milling and ASA barrel spools in there, and that is, yeah, hard work. Then I spent quite a lot of time with lever locks, and lots of different kinds of lever locks and things like Yale safe locks, a little tiny safety deposit type locks, sort of culminating in my notoriously camera shy Chubb Battleship. This is a great lock. I must have opened it a dozen times. Just every time I go to get this thing on camera, it's either false set or it's either overset or perhaps it's in a false gate, but the thing locks tight and I've got to drop everything and start again, which is driving me crazy. I will give that a go on to get it on camera before too long again, because it's a lovely lock. So yeah, I do like lever locks. After that, disc detainers, and I've just recently picked and got this monster on camera. So this is a very heavily false gated Anchor-Laz 833. I do like disc detainers. They are very enjoyable to pick. So that's sort of where I'm up to. What's next? This is what I'm working on at the moment. Ingersoll 10 lever locks. These are no joke. And I've been working on this thing for 6 months. I'm getting better. I'm getting core movement now. And definitely I'm getting levers set, and I'm learning to sort of read and test the levers if they're right. But I'm still doing something not quite right. I think I may be oversetting. But progress, I feel like progress is being made on this. So that's sort of the next big step for me. Then where are we at? Well, I'm still toying around a lot with Abloy Classic type locks. This is a batten, but it's got an Abloy Classic profile, and I'm working on making tools for these. And they're sort of in the sort of same realm as the Anchor-Laz, really. So that's sort of, yeah, they are. I've picked one. I've got to pick some more. I've got to make some tools. Then what's in the unpickable pile, right? The stuff that is sitting there smiling at me on my desk and presently acting as a paperweight. Right, so let's have a look at some of these monsters. And I'm not sure which of these is more difficult than the others, but most of them are black belts. I've got this hairy beast. This is an ASA V10 twin in mogul format. That's a hairy monster. I have been progressively pinning this one. I'm up to sidebar out and 4 main pins, which is really not a great deal different than one of the ones over here, but you know, it just is an intimidating lock. Then what else have we got? Another ASA twin. These ones got finger pins rather than like the lifting pins there, so that's a bit of a monster. I've got a Medico 51S, which actually is probably going to get picked before some of these. And other locks that I'm working on right now, the carbers, I've got a carber 8 and a carber 20. I am making progress with the carber 20 and getting core movement on this now, and getting a better feel for that one. So I feel that this one might not be too far away. This one has got some weirdness with things like there's a telescoping pin in there. That feels less likely. Then what do we got? We've got, I think this might never get open. This is an ASA 700 with 4 Christmas trees in it. It's a fabulous old lock. Got it completely by accident. It was in a bundle of other locks. But don't be taken in by that relatively flat bitting. It's got some really hairy pins in there. And finally, a Rosengrens. which is a form of disc detainer, and I just saw Lockchuck modify one of his tools to pick this and go through his video as he took it apart. Fascinating mechanism, and he did a really good inside view with like a pipe camera, and that actually sort of renewed my interest in this. I thought, oh, it doesn't feel unachievable now. So anyway, there's my progress and progress yet to be made. So yeah, Lock Junkie, what an awesome idea. I had a lot of fun having a rummage through my locks. And when I say I had a rummage through my locks, I'll show you this. I had all of my locks out, and that's one lot of locks, and then there's another big pile of locks over there. So it's been a lot of fun. I hope that was interesting. I hope I haven't prattled on too much. Oh, and also took some detours in making tools and picks and whatnot. So yeah, it's a really good broad hobby for lots of different things. Anyway, that's it for me. I've prattled on quite long enough. Lock Junkie, well done. Congratulations. Best of luck to everybody in the draw, and enjoy your picking. Cheers.